In this video, we'll cover how to hook up web contributors using either Skype or Source Connect Now. As well as phone or ISDN callers, we can use the internet to include web contributors. These are connected to the web contributor input channel on the S2 mixer, which is available in all three of the main studio areas, red, green and blue. The following instructions assume that your web contributor already has their own microphone and headphones set up and ready to use. Let's take a look at using Skype first. Double-click on the Skype desktop shortcut and log in using your own Skype credentials. Staffs Live has its own Skype account, so if you want to use that instead, speak to a technical specialist. To check your audio routing, click on the three dots at the top, go to Settings, and then click on Audio and Video. Your audio settings should match what you can see on screen now. Next, locate your chosen contact from the contacts list, or search for a new contact instead, and then start a voice call by clicking the phone icon. A video call isn't necessary in the radio studios as there's no webcam set up. Once the contributor has connected, do all the same pre-flight checks as mentioned in previous videos, such as recording the audio and setting levels and communicating off-air using PFL, and then you're good to go. Source Connect Now is a free, high-quality audio streaming service that's provided by Source Elements. It's a browser-based solution and can be found on now.source-elements.com. It works best with the Chrome web browser, but it currently doesn't work on iOS, on iPads and iPhones. However, it'll offer the best quality when compared to phone, ISDN and Skype. Source Connect Now requires you, as the radio studio user, to sign in, and the contributor to sign in as a guest, which is connected to the account that is signed in at the studio. Open Chrome and go to now.source-elements.com and then click on Sign In or create a new account for free. Just like Skype, Staffs Live has its own Source Connect Now account, so speak to a technical specialist to use that instead. Once you're signed in, click on the Start Connection button. A send quality of great, 128 kilobits per second and mono will be fine if you just send in your voice to the contributor, but feel free to change this depending on your internet bandwidth or speed. You can set the maximum number of guests per session. This would usually be 1, but can be set up to 9 if required. Also, make sure to set the guest pass, which can be any password you choose and is used by the guests to access the connection. Click on the Connect Now button, and then after you'll see a connection grid, which includes the audio levels that you're sending to your guests, as well as the levels that you're receiving from them. You can mute any contributor's mic if you need to, just by clicking on the speaker icon to the right of their level meter. And you can also tweak the volume by using the slider, or check their send level that's been sent to you. So if there's any quality issues, they can adjust any settings at their end. In the top right corner, everyone that's connected will see their own audio settings, such as the send quality and the audio input and output devices. Changing any of these settings will prompt you to refresh with the new settings. There's also a chat facility at the bottom of the web interface, which functions in the same way as any other online chat resource. At this point, you'll want to perform your pre-flight checks in the same way as Skype, setting levels, preparing recordings, and communicating off-air, and then you're good to go. When it comes to getting your contributors to connect, you've got two options. Option 1 is to get them to open the Chrome web browser, go to now.source-elements.com, then click on the Guest Sign In button. On the right, they'll need to type in the account to connect with, which will be the name of the Source Connect Now account that you're logged in with. Next, they'll type their name as well as the passkey, which you'll need to give them in advance. Finally, they can tweak their send quality if they want to. Again, for voice, a setting of great 128 kilobits per second and mono should be fine. Then they can click Connect. Option 2 is for you to invite the contributor using the Invite button at the top right corner of your connection grid window. You can edit the passkey if you need to, add your guest's name and email address, and tweak the send quality preset that you want them to use. You can choose to include the guest passkey in the email invite if you want to, and then click on the Email Invite button. Your guest will receive an email with a connection link which they can open using Chrome. Just make sure that they check for the email in their spam folder as well. As we've mentioned already, this video assumes that your web contributor already has their own microphone and headphones set up and ready to use, which they can now select using their own connection grid window. Depending on their level of technical competency, they might need some help with this, so it's worth keeping your phone at hand just in case. If you've got multiple contributors using Source Connect now, such as groups who are taking part in podcasts, a useful feature is for each person to be able to record their own local audio for up to 90 minutes using the built-in recorder feature, so you and your guests can each record your own audio. This is useful if you want greater control during the editing process, as you'll be able to edit each separate contributor using a multi-track audio editor such as Audition or Audacity. You'll just need to make sure that everyone starts and stops recording at the same time, and then the resulting audio files are sent over to you. In this lesson, we've discussed how to hook up web contributors using either Skype or Source Connect now. Next up, we'll learn how to use the CD player and how to hook up external input sources.